Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are digging into a fascinating research paper about an AI called Metastone S1. Now, it's not the biggest model out there, not by a long shot, but it's pulling off some genius-level thinking, and we're going to break down exactly how it does that. Okay, so let's get right into it. This chart from the paper, this is the whole reason we're talking today. See that blue line? That's our new, relatively small, 32 billion parameter model, Metastone S1. And the gray line, that's an industry heavyweight, OpenAI's O3 Mini. Just look at how they stack up on these tough math, coding, and reasoning problems. Our little guy isn't just keeping up, it's going toe-to-toe and, in some cases, even pulling ahead. And that, right there, is the big question, isn't it? How on earth is that possible? Is it just, better hardware or more data? Nope. The answer is way more clever. It all comes down to a totally new way of thinking. The secret sauce here is a new architecture they call the reflective generative form. I know, it's a mouthful, but the idea behind it is actually simple and kind of brilliant. Think of it like giving the AI its own built-in quality checker, a little internal critic that helps it reflect on its own thought process. So the old way of doing things, you'd have these two massive, separate AIs. One AI, the thinker, would generate a bunch of possible solutions. Then you'd need another giant AI, the judge, to come in and grade all that work. It works, but wow, is it inefficient? This new way, it rolls them both into one. You get a single, brilliant student that can not only write the essay, but also grade its own paper as it goes. And here's how they pull it off. You can see it in this diagram. Instead of two different brains, it's one shared network, the backbone, that splits off into two little specialized parts, or heads. One head does the thinking and comes up with ideas. The other head acts as that internal judge, scoring how good that thinking is. One core network, two crucial jobs. Now get this. For that 32 billion parameter model, how much extra weight do you think this powerful judging ability adds? Just 53 million parameters. That is nothing. It is an incredibly tiny, efficient add-on that unlocks this profound new reflective skill. Okay, so the AI can judge itself. But how does it learn to be a good judge? I mean, especially if you don't have a human sitting there grading every single step of its logic. Well, this is where the real magic happens.
It all comes down to a technique called a self-supervised process reward model, or SPRM for short. The keywords there are self-supervised. That means the AI literally teaches itself. It figures out what good reasoning looks like just by knowing if the final answer was right or wrong. This is a game changer, because it means you don't need all that expensive step-by-step human feedback anymore.
So the whole process is this elegant little three-step dance. First, it brainstorms, generating multiple ways to solve a problem. It's not just taking one shot. Then, its own internal judge scores each one of those paths. That's the reflection step. And finally, it picks the path with the highest score and uses that to build its final answer. It's generating options, reflecting, and then choosing the best one. And this whole self-correction process leads to something truly amazing the researchers found in the data. They call it the aha moment. It's where we can literally watch the model suddenly grasp the difference between good and bad logic. I mean, look at this. We're literally watching an AI learn on this graph. Way over on the left, at the start of training, the lines are a total mess. The blue line, that's the score for good reasoning, and the red line for bad reasoning, they're all tangled up. The model has no clue. It's just confused. And this is the money shot. This is the aha moment. See that dashed green line? Bam! That's the exact point where it all just clicks. The blue and red lines suddenly shoot apart. The model goes from giving everything a random score to confidently giving high scores to good logic and low scores to bad logic. It has learned to tell the difference, all by itself. It's like witnessing the birth of intuition, but in silicon. And here's a perfect real-world example from the paper. The model looked at a line of reasoning that had a simple calculation error. Before that aha moment, it was still pretty confused, gave it a score of 0.52. But after that moment of clarity, It looked at the exact same path and correctly tanked the score down to 0.12, even noting the error. It learned to see the mistake.
And that powerful aha moment is made possible by their special training method, what they call SPR loss. This chart here shows why it's so good. The gap between good and bad reasoning, that's the blue area, is way wider and clearer than with older methods shown in red. It just gives the AI a much stronger, cleaner signal to learn from.
Okay, so we've seen the how, but what does this all really mean? Let's pull back and look at the big picture takeaways from this whole breakthrough. The conclusions from the paper are pretty staggering. First, they proved you can merge that thinker and judge into one elegant design. Second, it's wildly efficient. Third, it learns on its own, which saves a ton of time and money. And the result of all that, you get a smaller, more nimble model that can compete with the absolute best in the world. The paper basically argues this is a whole new blueprint for building AI.
And this isn't some one-trick pony. This chart shows that the model's accuracy gets better and better, predictably, the more thinking time you give it. This proves that the whole smarter, not just bigger philosophy has a real, tangible path forward to get even more powerful.
In fact, check this out. It's so effective that this little built-in judge, the blue line, consistently does a better job of picking the right answer than these huge external judge models that are over 72 billion parameters. That's thousands of times bigger. It's an absolutely mind-blowing display of efficiency.
So we have to end on this question. We've just seen a machine have its own moment of insight, a spark of understanding that it developed entirely on its own. It really makes you wonder, if an AI can have an aha moment about logic and math today, what's it going to realize next?
Speaking of aha moments, you know that feeling when you finally figure out why you've been feeling so off? That's not AI, that's just your vibes. And for that, you need a totally different kind of expert. So if you're done processing process reward models and you're ready to process your own feelings, you have got to check out my friend, the Vibe Doc. He will get your personal processing on the right trajectory. Link is in the description. Do it, subscribe, your chakras will thank you. See you next time.